So imagine being able to add tags or move people into pipelines or even to a power dialer pipeline and dial through after a couple of messages sent, or shifting people from one drip flow to another when nobody's been responsive. You'll be able to do all that here in a moment. Welcome to Dripflows. Here on Dripflows, you're going to be able to create new drip flows, reorganize them, drag and drop them in the order that you want them, just like normal drip campaigns. However, drip flows are a bit different. Drip flows are a more advanced view of setting up a drip flow campaign. So let's go ahead and get right into it. But first, I kind of want to show you what you could do with a drip flow. So I have here a universal engagement and recovery flow. Imagine you've got your very first message set up here, and then we're going to put in a logic, and this one's going to be sent message delivered, or it failed. So for instance, I'm checking the delivery of my very first message. If it failed, I'm going to go ahead and add a failed delivery tag. And then I'm going to try to deliver another message to them, which is likely to be the same or slightly different message. Then I'm going to check to see if that one delivered. If it did, then it's going to go up to the message to area. We'll get to that here in a second. But if it failed a second time, I'm going to add that second failure delivery right here. And then I'm going to remove them from the flow, and I'm going to add them to my call attempt pipeline. This way, if messages aren't delivering, maybe it was a landline. Should be scrubbing those with landlineremover.com, but you'll hear all about that in another video. So here we're going to throw them into a different pipeline. Maybe we'll try and give them a call instead. If the message succeeds after that first failure, or if it succeeded after the first message, we can pop it straight over here. And maybe we ask them to reply with a certain keyword like info or details. If so, then I can mark that as a hot lead or interested, removing all previous tags, add them into my hot lead nurture pipeline, and then I can send them another message here. They replied with the keyword that was given. If they did not reply with the keyword, I could send them a completely different message down here instead. From that, I can follow up and drop them into another drip flow if I wanted to, if they replied with that keyword. Whatever the case may be, I can do that from this true statement here when it says check the inbound received, exact word, info or details. And then if that rings true, then I can do other actions. If they did not reply with a certain keyword, but they replied, then I can go ahead and go with this false statement right here and then proceed on with that the following flow. So how do we set all this up, right? I've kind of showed you a little bit more complex way of setting this up, which by the way, make sure to take a look at our other video, which goes over the Dripflow marketplace. It's where free templates can be shared. Anybody can go there and see the publicly made templates. I will have this exact template there for you, and it'll be labeled Universal Engagement and Recovery Flow. Let's go ahead and go back, and let's start a new drip flow. So click on the Add Drip Flow. We're going to give this a name. We'll title this one Demo Video. And I'll click Create. So the very first thing we need to add to this is going to be a drip message. Okay. So from this, all we have to do, type in your first message, make sure to include spin text. You could check for any of the known keywords to avoid and things like that directly inside here, but we'll just label this first message. Okay. Then we set our duration. So we want this one to go after 1 minute. So to really take advantage of a drip flow, you want to use the logic here. So we're going to drag a logic in after that message, and we're just going to simply connect these two things right here. So after my message is sent, it's going to go into this logic, if inbound received, and we could go with the exact keyword maybe that they responded with, whether it was positive, negative, or neutral intent of their inbound message. We could do different things with that. Or if tag or pipeline exist on the contact already, what do we want to do with it at that point? So let's go ahead and go with exact word. And maybe we want to say they said info or details. We can make this case sensitive. usually not recommended, because if you sent them all caps or the first letter capitalized, they probably just replied back and it could all be lowercase. So sometimes there might be a case for using case sensitivity, but I would go ahead and just leave that off so it accepts any case as long as they replied that keyword. So if they replied with that keyword, what do we want to do? That would be the true statement, otherwise false. Well, we have a ton of different actions here. We could add them to another campaign. Now this could be a drip campaign. This could be another drip flow, as we see down here, drip flow campaign. So you can add them into a normal drip campaign or into another drip flow. To remove a node, just right click on it, then click the X and click away. So let's say we wanted to add them to a pipeline. Well, I could say I added them to, in this instance, I'll just put quoted or Monday callbacks. Okay. Well, maybe I also want to add a tag on them as well. I can manage my tags directly from here, so I can go ahead and create tags as well. Or I can select a tag directly from here. So I could say hot lead or interested, removing all previous tags. There we go. And then of course we want another message. They did reply to us. They did give our keyword. So that's great. Can I send you my calendar link to schedule a call? Right? So we've got this in here. Let me clean up all my mess here. And we could go ahead and use these different things. If you've got the Calendly integration, you've created a merge field for that. So for instance, if my cursor is right here, all you have to do is just add your merge field here, 15 min. Now that's also going to drop my Calendly link for scheduling a call with me. And then all you're going to have to do here is just draw a line. So now it's going to perform all three of these things. It's going to put them in my Monday callbacks, add a tag, remove the previous tags, and send them a message if they replied with that keyword. But what if they didn't reply? Right? Maybe they didn't reply with a keyword. Okay. Well, then we could do something else down here, right? So maybe we want to check to see if that was a positive, right? So inbound received, and was it positive intent? You could do something if it was positive. You do something if it was negative. You do something if it was a neutral response, and carry on with that true false. We could remove this. There we go. And just drop another message instead. And just carry on that conversation with them. So let's go ahead and just try this. And now we got that didn't apply with keyword. Are you still interested? And then start carrying that on. And then from each one of these messages, you can draw to the next. And so you'll end up having conditional statements here from the logics. But as we've seen in my original thing, there are reasons why, like for instance, you want to check the delivery report. Maybe at the beginning. This way, if it fails twice, then you do something else with the lead and break them off this drip so that it doesn't carry on down multiple messages throughout your campaign here, through your flow process. You want to stop messaging them sooner so that you're not wasting credits on something that's not going to deliver SMS. So let's get back out of this. And we'll go over here to the universal engagement one that I showed you earlier. And you'll see here what I'm talking about. So I checked here first. Sent message delivery, and it went to failed down here, or if the message delivered, it went over here and checked to see if a keyword existed. But you'll see down here that I have it mark as failed delivery and then tried to send again. But here I'm checking that delivery again, and if it delivered, then I have it bounce up to this top flow area here. So if it successfully delivers, then I pop it back up here and I have it remove those tags. Right? So now it gets rid of the failure message one off of it, and now it's marking it as an interested lead. So you can really set this up to your exact needs for adding tags, moving them to different pipelines. You can move them to a different pipeline all throughout this stage. So for instance, even after the second message, if I wanted to move them to a different pipeline, quite literally all I'd have to do here, well, I can't do it directly after a message. I got to do it right before. So right over here, messaging them, and I can connect it right here and put them into a different pipeline. That's all you have to do. So as you've seen, this is a very advanced way of setting up your Dripflow campaigns where you have more actionable items that you could drop in here, like tagging them, checking their inbound responses, checking the intent of their inbound response, which is the built-in intent system. So like when you're in your inbox and you see the little smiley icons or straight face or angry faces, that's your positive, neutral, and negative intents. That is built into your platform. And that is what's used in the conditional statements here when it's using the intent of the types. So you can really customize this any which way you'd like. Being able to move them around your pipelines and tagging them appropriately all throughout your campaign is then also going to allow you to be able to search your contacts. What flow are they on? What tag do they have? Exclude the others. This way you can see everybody throughout the process. How many are still on message 1? How many are now on message 2? So you can put tags after each one of these messages so that then you know exactly where they are all throughout this process, what's to come, who all has responded where, moving them around the different pipelines so you can visually see where people are throughout the process. It's going to allow you to be more organized, as well as be able to see into what your drip campaigns are doing and when you're breaking people off of these as well. One thing I kind of wanted to mention here as we wrap this video up from the Dripflows is there is a Dripflow marketplace. So to use the Dripflow marketplace, you would create a Dripflow. And if you want to make that publicly to everyone, all you have to do is come over to the 3 little dots here, share to marketplace. Now you can keep it private. And by marking it private, it's going to give you a URL that you can give out to whoever you'd like to use this Dripflow. If you decide to make it public, it will then go into the public marketplace. So this is telling you here, it's going to be visible to all platform users. Give it a little description and a name and simply hit share. So I'll put this in here real quick. There we are. So I put in a description and now I just click on if I want to include the message content. This is going to be the messages that are actually inside each of the send message nodes as part of your flow. I'm going to include them because I want you guys to be able to all have this engagement template. And then I click share. So now this has been shared. It says I am the owner and cannot install this, but I can copy the link here. And now that link has been copied and I could share that to anybody else and they can install this template. I decided to make this template public. So by making it public, it's going to show up in the marketplace once it's approved. So as we see, went ahead and made that public. So now it gives the description, the name of it over here, which people can click on and install it to their own platform. Or you can come over to the side and you can copy the URL to it there, or you can also choose to view it and do various things with it. Inside your Dripflows as well, you'll see that it's shared to the marketplace, and that allows you to be able to see what that is, and it gives you the ID number so you can use it anywhere that you're using your browser extension or integrated on other services. Thank you, and as always, if you have any questions, do feel free to hit that bubble in the bottom right corner. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you and have a great day.